Last episode ended with the party traveling towards the city of Amberwood so that they could investigate a mysterious underwater temple buried deep in the lake adjacent to the settlement. After briefly getting sidetracked to face off against a nightmarish creature known as the Watcher, they continued on their travels and soon arrived at the city. However, before they could go dive into the massive lake, they needed to stop by the local potion seller. "Hello, we would like 5 potions of water breathing, please." "Great, do you want them to explode?" "The potions?" "Yeah, you know how bombs explode to kill everything around them? Do you want your potions to do that? Because that'll raise the price." "No, I think we're good. We just want normal potions." "Alright, your loss. The 5 non-explosive potions will run you 100 silver. And did you know that in New Ashton they have free potions?" "What?" "I said that the potions will cost 100 silver and that all sales are final. No returns." "Okay, yeah, that sounds good." Now that the party had their potions of water breathing in hand, they hired a boat, and soon they were positioned in the center of the lake, right above where the underwater temple was. "Are you sure that this is where you want us to stop? There's no land for miles." "Yeah, this is perfect. Thanks. Just stay here and we'll be back soon. Though if we don't return within an hour, then our potions will probably run out and we'll be dead. So you can just head back at that point." The party then dove into the water and swam straight down into the murky depths below. Soon they saw a massive stone temple, overgrown with moss and other plant life, partially sunken into the muddy bottom of the lake. "This looks like the place. It's just like the vision I had." Well, I didn't think that us finding the wrong underwater lake temple was really a possibility, but I'm glad you've confirmed it, I guess? Wait, I thought that Vorin had the vision of this place. Not you, Edith. Oh, yeah, anyway, let's go inside. As they swung open the massive stone doors leading into the entry hall, they noticed that the water didn't pour inside. There was a divine magical barrier that allowed people to pass through, but was able to protect the building from being flooded. In the first room, the party found a towering marble statue of a goblin holding a jellyfish lantern up above his head, and there was a plaque at the bottom of the statue that read, "Bosnak, the first keeper of St. Jimmy." Perhaps this is where Sir Geraldus came from. After all, he had the same symbol of St. Jimmy on his armor, right? Maybe, but it looks like this temple has been buried here for centuries. What could have caused him to leave now, of all times? I don't know, but I think that once we're out of here, we need to find where Redwater is and go check it out next. Though, first we need to explore this temple. The party then quickly delved into the rest of the ruined temple, attempting to move as quickly as possible, because their water-breathing potions only had a duration of 1 hour. If they ran out, then the party would be trapped here without any way of escaping. Soon they found themselves in a small, damp library at the edge of the temple. The dark, cramped collection of books had mostly been destroyed by water damage over the hundreds of years that had been sitting here in the lake, but Tenebris noticed something. He quickly drew his weapon. Do any of you notice something weird about this room? Not really, it's a bit dark, but I suppose that'd be expected for an underwater temple. Okay, new question. How many of us are there? 4, wait, 5, wait, is this a trick question? Can I change my answer? Correct, there's 5 of us. Now the last question. How many shadows are there? The rest of the party then noticed that there was an additional shadow with them. A shadow that was much denser than the rest, as if it had physical form and it was merely masquerading as one of their own shadows in an attempt to go undetected. Now that the party had noticed it, the shadow had no more reason to try to stealth. It immediately went onto the offensive and a fight broke out. During the fight, the shadow creature was able to grab the shadows of each of the party, steal them, and then imbue them with sentience. So the fight started with 5 characters fighting 1 shadow, but it soon became 5 people fighting 6 shadows. Even with the numbers being against them, the party soon managed to begin winning the fight. However, instead of all being destroyed, the last few remaining shadows fled from the party, further into the temple. Unable to catch them, the party continued their expedition. However, they kept an eye out for any shadows sneaking up on them. After a few more rooms of travel, the party came across a room that contained a large, plain-looking stone fountain. The bottom of the dirty water in the fountain was filled with various coins, ranging from copper all the way up to platinum pieces. Oh look, free money! What? No, we're not robbing a holy fountain in the middle of a temple. Oh, is it like a wishing fountain? Porkins then went over and tossed some coins into the fountain. As the coins hit the bottom, they began to glow slightly, and suddenly the party felt much more powerful. For the rest of their time in the temple, they had increased health, increased damage, and increased move speed. The party continued their travel through the temple, and soon they arrived at the largest room. It contained a massive, blood-splattered statue of Saint Jimmy, but the party was more distracted by the creature standing in front of it. She looked almost like a half-elf in a priestly white cloak, however her flesh was unnaturally pale. Beneath her skin they could see fluorescent purple veins, their light piercing through the pale skin, and they were all in geometrical straight lines instead of the usual shape they should have had. Her eyes were glowing dark purple as she stared down the party, the same color as the crystal shards that Edith had been collecting. She raised her maul with a single jagged and unnatural motion. The priestess then opened her mouth, but what came out was no language that mortals can comprehend, nor should they be able to speak. The party all rolled will saves, and combat quickly began. The fight initially seemed to be going well for the adventurers. They were able to use their blessings from the fountain to immediately close the distance to the priestess, and began attacking with all of their strongest attacks. However, in the middle of the fight, the party noticed that the shadows from the library had followed them into this room, and they too joined in on attacking the party. Now that the party was distracted fighting a battle on both sides, it quickly turned to the priestess's favor. Only a few turns later, half of the party was unconscious on the ground and rolling death saving throws, and those who were still alive were barely in the double digits for health. Jay, in a desperate last attempt to win the fight, sprinted up to the priestess and used the rest of his actions to do a power attack. The die was rolled, and he got a natural 20. He swung his spiked chain, and it slammed into the side of her head, cracking her skull and killing her. As the priestess died, the remaining shadows dissipated, and the fight was won. The adventurers that were still standing immediately gave healing potions to the unconscious party members, getting them back up. Over by the priestess's corpse, the party saw that sticking out of her shattered skull was a small, dark purple crystal, the last one that Edith was looking for. Edith immediately went over to pick it up, but Tenebris got there first and blocked her path. Edith, what are these? They're the crystals. No, that's not good enough. You need to be more transparent with us. Look, if this crystal is able to power something this deadly, then I don't think you should have it. This thing almost killed all of us, Edith. Look at us. What are these things? I see them in my visions. They're crystals. They're why I'm on the island. Yeah, but what do they do? Why do you want them? I don't know. I just get them because the visions tell me to. Valren drew his blood-soaked sword once more. My deity told me to get this one as well, and I'll die before I let it fall into the wrong hands. The party was interrupted as they heard the large stone doors at the front of the temple swing open. Echoing throughout the ruined structure, they heard the voice of the plague doctors. We've located the adventurers. Sweep the building, and remember, leave no survivors.